After the cancellation of Cheers, and before the wildly successful spin-off Frasier, there was another oft-forgotten and short-lived Cheers spin-off series called Going Postal, featuring Cheers' beloved character Cliff Clavin. The spin-off resurrected the character of the original Cheers series, the Boston postal worker with a know-it-all demeanor that masked a lovable but insecure persona. However, the spin-off series fleshed out the character by diving into the minutiae of his frustrating life within the Kafkaesque postal service, and the psychological toll it had taken on him. The phrase "going postal" was trendy in the early 90s due to a string of violent and public outbursts by U.S. postal workers, and producers and writers of the series used this phrase as a starting point for development of the show. In the first few episodes, viewers witnessed Clavin's unstable mental state, his growing tendency towards violence, and his retreating into the chaos of his troubled mind. Furthermore, the character became increasingly distressed by what he saw as a rise in crime and a decline in moral values in the Boston area. Instead of taking this out on random victims or coworkers, Clavin became a vigilante sort who took his anger out on dangerous criminals. In one episode, Clavin became obsessed with the prostitute ring. He shadows a few hookers and johns, following them to brothels and seedy hotels, to find out the source of the operation, and eventually track the ring down to a biker gang whom he follows to an inner-city neighborhood. Clavin then procured an M1919 Browning machine gun from a guns dealer, and ambushed the gang, massacring them off one by one in a rain of .30 caliber M2 bullets. The episode was a half-hour long, and this massacre scene lasted 10 minutes, one whole third of the show. Afterwards, Clavin drove to a local dive and had a few beers, a nod to the viewers familiar with his character on Cheers. However, unlike the buddy atmosphere of Cheers, Clavin found himself alone with no one to regale with his obscure knowledge, and stuck only with the bloody memories of what he had done earlier that day. Although audiences were pleased to see the Cheers alum in his own series, as the episodes became more violent and extreme, they began to tune out. Also, by '93, when the series aired, vigilante TV shows like The A-Team and Knight Rider fell passé, and Going Postal was therefore cancelled after only one season. That same year, Cheers producers tried to bring back the Diane Chambers character from the original series, who was written off of Cheers in 1986, in a spin-off titled Tortured. Tortured was to feature the Diane Chambers character who in the original series dreamed of being a published writer. In the spin-off series, Chambers would play a Bukowski-esque writer struggling with substance abuse and obscurity. However, this series never made it past the initial pilot, and Frasier would end up being the only successful Cheers spin-off.